Do you know this man? This is a general who faced great defeat but later became an admired figure in the United States. Why, you ask? Join me as we explore the story, future historians. Part 1. Military Legacy from West Point. Born into a military family with his father being the former governor of Virginia, Major General Henry Lee III, he inherited a strong military tradition. Growing up, he received an early education and excelled at West Point, graduating at the top of his class. Nicknamed the Marble Model for his determination, focus, height, and handsome appearance, he entered the Engineer Corps with the rank of second lieutenant on July 1, 1829. In 1846, his military talents came to light during the U.S.-Mexican War, where he made significant strategic contributions, leading to promotions to the ranks of captain, major, and lieutenant colonel. In the 1850s, Lee served as the superintendent of the U.S. Military Academy and later as lieutenant colonel of the 2nd U.S. Cavalry in Texas. Part 2. Unveiling Talents.
The Civil War is a time of challenges, and I made decisions based on principles and loyalty to my state.
Although the Civil War lasted only 4 years, 1861, 1865, it was one of the most tragic and heroic chapters in American history. Initially nominated by President Lincoln to lead the Union Army, Lee declined and joined the Confederate forces, stating his inability to betray his birthplace and upbringing. Lee achieved significant victories in the early stages of the war, including the Second Battle of Bull Run, Fredericksburg, and Chancellorsville. However, following these triumphs, defeats occurred at Antietam and Gettysburg, resulting in substantial casualties on both sides. In 1865, witnessing the toll of the conflict, Lee played a role in the Gentleman's Agreement, an attempt to minimize bloodshed. Part 3. Forgiving Heart, a touching moment in world history. On April 2nd, the Confederate capital, Richmond, fell. Rather than dispersing his forces to await a chance to counterattack, General Lee made a bold decision: to surrender.
I will go and see General Grant, and I would rather die 1,000 deaths.
Lee immediately penned a letter to General Grant, requesting an early meeting to avoid further loss of life. General Grant was extremely pleased upon receiving the letter.
Even though the opponent is in a weakened state, with General Lee's talent, I am the commander of the North, and even a formidable and strong general cannot be sure of ultimate victory without paying an immensely costly price in blood. It's reasonable. It's reasonable.
With all due respect, he issued a strict order prohibiting any officers and soldiers under his command from displaying any disrespectful behavior towards the defeated Southern commander.
Maintain dignity. Show respect to Robert.
So, the agreement between the North and the South has been signed, and peace has been restored between the two regions. Immediately, General Grant issued orders to cease such actions.
The Southern Army has surrendered. The war has come to an end. They are now our fellow countrymen, and we must not rejoice in their sorrow.
Part 4. Eternal Hero in the Hearts of Americans. In his final years, Lee served as president of Washington College in Lexington, Virginia. During his 5-year tenure, student enrollment significantly increased, possibly due to his reputation. Lee proposed modifications to the curriculum, adding courses in science and engineering to nurture young leaders. Lee passed away in 1870, leaving an enduring legacy. His image appeared on 6 U.S. postage stamps, and his Arlington residence became the Robert E. Lee Memorial as a gesture of national unity. Part 5. Interesting facts about the accomplished general. 1. Former military engineer. He served as a military engineer in the 1830s, directing efforts to significantly improve the channels of the Mississippi River, enhancing its navigability. 2. Extreme frugality.
My father, Henry, was overly extravagant. There was a time I wrote a letter to the bank about a 120 discrepancy in my 841.77 account balance. I need to save for the future of my wife and children.
Despite being born into an aristocratic family, during wartime, He chose to sleep in a tent and eat the soldiers' rations. 3. Negotiated with a US president. Here is a twist. The general who negotiated with him later became the 18th president of the United States. Thanks to his significant contributions to the Union during the Civil War, Hiram Ulysses Grant was elected for 2 terms as president, 1869-1877. Later, General Grant always held deep respect for Robert, the hero who willingly took a step back to spare any soldier from unnecessary sacrifice.
If you like our video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thank you and goodbye.